Asian recipes. Let's make chicken pho. Pho ga.
Alright, for the chicken, you can use free-range chicken, the chicken from the farm if you can get it. Yes, you can get chicken from the farm. So the fresher the chicken, the better. You can get chicken bones too. They sell it at the Asian supermarkets. That's gonna add more flavors, or you can get the chicken hen for more flavors. So you pick and choose which kind of chicken you want to use. But the one that has more flavors is going to be either organic, the free-range chicken, or the chicken bones. So
for this recipe, 4 to 6 pounds of whole chicken will work. Start off by washing your chicken with a dash of salt. I don't wash my chicken all the time. Sometimes I'm in a rush, I want something fast. My fiance and I that I'm just cooking for, we just skip this part. But if my family are over, they will knock me on the side of my head if they find out that I didn't. So that's, for this tutorial, I'm doing it just to keep things traditional. Alright, let's take a look at the spices you're gonna need today. Cinnamon sticks, codamon pods, star anise, coriander, fennel seeds, and lastly, some cloves. Add 4 to 5 liters of water to a pot and bring it to a boil. Next, slice 1 big ginger to 3 to 4 pieces.
Alright, so now let's char our ginger, onions, and shallots.
If you don't have a gas stove, no worries. You can also char it at 375 for 10 to 15 minutes in your air fryer. Be sure to give this a nice char on both of its sides. You're going to continue doing this for 5 to 10 minutes. If you're in a rush and you don't have time and you want something fast, you can skip this part as well. Now let's toast our spices. Now some of these spices may be hard to find, so if you can't get it, no worries. But if you can find it, it's going to add a beautiful aroma to your broth. Once your pot comes to a boil, you're going to see things appearing on the surface of the soup. So we're going to skim that out and get rid of the impurities. Continue doing this for 5 to 10 minutes until you get a clearer broth. What I like to do is add water to a bowl so that way it could clean my strainer and lift all the scums off of it. Our goal is to get a nice clear broth that is not cloudy. If you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing to my channel for easy recipes, California food adventures, comedy, food blogging, ASMR, and mukbang eating. Also drop me a comment, let's get to know each other. Let me know what you guys want to see me cook next. Alright, the broth is looking clear. Let's go ahead and bring down the heat down to low. We're gonna let this simmer 40 to 60 minutes. Another quick tip, you always can remove the chicken skin in step 1 if you want less of an oily broth. But for me, I like the skin on the chicken, so I'm gonna leave it on today. When it comes to toasting your spice, it can range from 2 to 7 minutes depending how strong you want the aroma of your broth to be. What I'm doing now is removing the extra char. We don't want this in our soup. It can cause the broth to be cloudy. So I cut the parts that I can't get and I peel like 1 or 2 layers. You don't want to peel too much. Notice I can't get all of it, so I'm going to use the tip of the knife to scrape off the extra char on the onion. Just like that. I'm going to continue removing the char from the shallots and the ginger. Now, if you don't have time, you can always skip this part. I totally get it. Nowadays, who has the time to do all this, right? You can just throw it in the broth, and what you can do is just strain it. That can give you a clear broth as well. To remove the skin of the ginger is so easy to use the tip of the spoon. If not, leave the skin on. Up to you. It's going to be hard to remove all the char and you might spend a lot of time, so don't worry. What you can do is just give it a rinse over cold water to clean it up nicely. I'm going to do that next. Wow, look at that, nice and clean. You could put your spices in the middle, in the beginning, in the end, it's up to you. But I like to do it right before when the chicken is almost cooked. Alright, our spices cooled down.
So now you can put everything in a tea bag or in a cheesecloth, okay? Or you can get this at the Asian supermarket. Mine is all beat up from using it in the past, but they pop up like this. They're reusable. And you just put all the spices in here and then you just lock it back up. So this is a good thing to have too. So this way you get a clearer broth and the spices are not everywhere. But I have this, so I'm just gonna put everything in here. I have my spices in here.
Don't stress about getting these cheesecloth or tea bags. I know it can be hard at times to find these. If you don't, then just put all the spices in the pot. What you can do is just strain it later for a clearer broth.
Tie it whatever way you want. Secure it.
Let's add some rock sugar to our broth. Now, they look like this at Asian supermarkets. Now, if you're not able to find these, using regular sugar will do. Let's add in our rock candy. Wow, look at that. What the heck is that? I'm just kidding. Go ahead and add that into your broth and use one big piece. Notice the spice bag is already in there. I'm so sorry guys, don't kill me. I forgot to film that part, so go ahead and add that in. Next goes in 1 teaspoon of sea salt. I did it in slow motion for you guys. How you guys like that? Next goes in 1 tablespoon of fish sauce. We're not going to put too much because we're going to adjust to taste at the end of the video. And if you're worried for the measurement, go on my description. I have it written down for you guys. I was just adding it little by little so that way I could come up with this delicious recipe for you guys. Let it continue to simmer for 5 minutes, then remove your chicken carefully. If you're not sure if your chicken's cooked or not, what you can do, a classic trick, is to stick a bamboo skewer into the middle part of the chicken or a chopstick. If it comes out clear, not bloody, then it's cooked. Once you add your chicken into a big bowl, add ice. We're going to give it an ice bath to stop the cooking process. This part is optional, but it's always about the quality of the chicken. You want your chicken not to be overcooked. If you don't have ice, no worries. Just let it rest for 10 to 15 minutes.
Alright, let's go take a look at all the garnishes and toppings and condiments that we're going to need. It's a lot. You don't need it all. It's optional. I think bean sprout and green onions is fine, but I'm going to show you that there's so many other options.
Go to your local Asian supermarkets and go on a scavenger hunt to see if you can find any of these. Starting off with Thai basil right there, mint. Next, we have sawtooth coriander or culantro. Some cilantro. Next is optional and hard to find, but the very popular Vietnamese coriander, Rau Răm. If you want a little kick, some jalapeno or Thai chili pepper. Let's not forget about your crunchy bean sprout, scallions or green onions, lime, and lemon. Be sure to rinse, drain well, and then chop to your desired pieces.
Okay, so once you remove the chicken, at this point, you can remove whatever's in the pot too to ensure that the broth stays clear. I'm just gonna leave it in there. So you see me adding these salt earlier. Now that I've removed the chicken, you're gonna go ahead and adjust to taste. So I'm gonna keep adding a little bit of fish sauce, sea salt to taste. So I got the recipe down for you guys. I was adding sea salt and fish sauce to taste, little by little, but I'm gonna taste it one more time. Perfect. Really, really good. This is perfect right here. It's pretty standard. So at this point, the recipe measurements going to be in the description because I was adding it little by little. Taste test. If you're not happy with this, you want it to be more saltier, more flavorful, go ahead and keep adding little by little fish sauce and sea salt. Alright guys, I gave my chicken a cold bath to stop the cooking process. You don't want your chicken to be overcooked because that's not what we want. We want to taste the quality of the chicken. So I'm going to show you how to cut it or how I cut it, okay? Just a small little knife would do. You don't need one this big, okay? But yeah, you just cut it at the end here, break it down right off. So we got one piece here with the bone is. Cut it down like that. Your chicken meat. So let's flip it back over. Here's the breast. What I like to do is cut right in the middle or just a little to the side when you feel the bone. And it should come right off like that. See? Ta-da! Yeah, we just do that to the others like that. Now you can shred it to bite-sized pieces, or you can cut it big pieces, depending on your preference. You can.
By cutting into strips or thick pieces, you give your guests and family members a choice of what kind of cut of chicken they want and which part of the chicken they want. If you decide to shred your chicken, be sure to remove the skin, set it aside for those who want it, because I sure do. All you have to do is pull it apart just like this. You can make it to any kind of size you want.
Let me go ahead and set this one aside. Let me stop it. Oh, let me show you. So I have 2 piles right here. I have that.
Now, if you want to get a little fancy, you could just debone the chicken and then cut him with the skin on, just like that. Wow, look at that.
Alright, so now let's strain our broth for a clearer broth. Just to get rid of all the stuff to make it more even a clearer broth, we're gonna strain it one more time. This part is optional. If you don't care for a clear broth, then go ahead and just enjoy.
When you're craving for pho ga and you want something fast and easy, there are shortcuts to making this recipe, so I'll list it in the description.
Strain the broth. Make sure there's none. That's my broth right there.
Wow, look at that. My broth is done. This is perfect for a rainy day, cold day, any day. Actually, even on a hot day, but you gotta turn the AC on or else you're gonna be sweating. Alright guys, let's assemble our pho bowl. You're gonna need your toppings and garnishes. These were the ones that I cut, washed, drained, and chopped and minced to my desired likings. Cook your pho noodles. They usually come packaged. It says ban pho, and you can get them packaged or you can get them pre-hydrated. I like the pre-hydrated one so that way I don't have to soak it. But if you do get the packaged one, go ahead and soak it a little bit just to get rid of the extra starch. Growing up, finding pho noodles can be challenging. You have to go to Asian supermarket. Nowadays, you can find them everywhere. Look for the package that says rice noodle. I usually don't cook my pho noodles too long, 10 to 15 seconds, then I strain it. It's gonna continue cooking in the hot broth. Wow, look at that. I love pho noodles. They're so chewy, bouncy, and delicious, making them so addicting. So go ahead and ladle your soup in. You want the soup to cover the noodles. Add extra broth because if you don't eat it right away, what happens is the noodle gets soggy and absorbs all the broth. Also, add in your desired amount of chicken. You guys, listen to this pho ga heaven. Wow.
Alright guys, my pho is done. My chicken pho is done, pho ga. Now, I have all the toppings and garnishments. Let me taste my broth. Oh wow. So good guys. This would be perfect for a rainy day or any day. Especially for soup season. That being said, let's go ahead and add in our garnishes. I like some jalapeños in mine. Cilantro. Green onion. Some yellow onions. Bean sprout. You can blanch these, okay? But I didn't get a chance to, so I usually blanch them. Vietnamese coriander. This is very popular for pho ga. Vietnamese coriander. Culantro. Sawtooth culantro. This is very delicious. that in there. And some Thai basil. Some Thai basil. And if you want, you can even add Kaffir lime leaves. These are hard to find, okay? Kaffir lime leaves. They're not easy to find. Just roll it up like this and just cut it into fine pieces. And of course, either lemon or lime. I'm gonna do some lime in mine. Whoa. If you want, hoisin and sriracha. Look at the chicken.
Guys, check out these pho noodles. My goodness. Let it cool down a little bit before I take a bite.
Mmm, so good, guys. Mmm.
I'm your host, Harris Piñanavong, and this was Cooking with Mr. International. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.